Hi friends, welcome back. This is Quinn with Exploring My Racial Identity. I've been awake since 3:30 this morning. I don't know, couldn't sleep. Don't know if it was God's trying to tell you something, or maybe it was just my husband snoring a lot. I don't know. Love you, sweetie. But yeah, there's just something that was been weighing on my mind. Went out to a coffee shop with some friends yesterday, and they were talking about wanting to play Dungeons and Dragons. And I remember back in my 20s when I was with another group of friends. They were mostly Republican. I know, I know. My father will probably disown me for saying that. But that group of friends, oh, sorry, for folks who don't even, let me go back. For folks who don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is, it is an imaginary game where you get to create a character, and based upon their traits, they'll be able to respond to situations in an imaginary world, in a world where you can be an elf, or a dwarf, or a vampire, or a magician. Yeah. So it's an imaginary game where kids get together being total geeks, and this was their socialization to try to, like, maybe explore a dungeon or defeat a dragon or something. And this group of friends that I played with, one of them, his character was, I think, a paladin who rode on a unicorn. My role with them mostly was just to keep the story plot online, on track, because, I mean, there were tangents like every 10 seconds, but maybe that's the point of Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know. But anyhow, when it came time for me to build a character in that game, I was like, all right, I want to play. I want to be a vampire who is black, that has blood red hair. Yeah, like a black blood rain. That'll be fun. They looked at me like, that character can't exist in this world. The hell? They're like, no, no, that just can't exist. That wouldn't exist in this world at all. Okay. Okay. How about, could I be an elf? A black elf with red hair? No, no, you can't do that because if you did that, you'd be an easy target. People would see you coming and they'd just kill you instantly. You wouldn't blend in with society at all. In an imaginary freaking world, you riding a unicorn and I can't exist? The hell? For real? You are riding a unicorn. But anyway, so it just reminded me of the levels at which racism can exist. So when my friend yesterday was suggesting, oh, and he's a white guy too, he's suggesting, hey, let's play Shadow Realm, a game of counterintelligence. We're trying to, take down the established order or destroy kingdoms and governments. He's like, this is my way to say screw you to the government by safely playing an imaginary game. I'd love to play. Sure, I'd love to play. But I realize as a black person right now in America, in a time when a group like Black Lives Matters is trying to be treated as a terrorist group, for me, as someone who has organized candlelight vigils, marches, community listening circles, I would be seen as an active member who could possibly be trying to take down the government. Because that's how stupid people are. Even though I really love his idea that we play the game and Donald Trump is a dragon that we're trying to take down. I like that. That's awesome. But that has to be a stop moment for me to reflect and realize that I can be seen as a threat. When I go to protests and I'm being watched by drones, literally, and I blew a kiss at a drone and it stopped watching, it went back down, that's my world. I don't get to freely move in a way of even being able to play in an imaginary world to take down an imaginary government, the Donald Trump dragon. That's sad that that has to be a thought for me, that has to even be on my mind. My friend, he doesn't have to worry about that. And it's sad because I'm like, I think of Martin Luther King Jr. What would he do in this time? I mean, the FBI was listening to him and making threatening phone calls to his family. I don't know if Martin Luther King Jr. could play Dungeons and Dragons. Or Werewolf, which is my other favorite game. That's one where villagers are mysteriously being killed by werewolves, and everybody is a different character. Either you're a villager, or you're a werewolf, or you're the seer who can see who's who. And as a werewolf, you're trying to make sure people don't kill you. It's a fun game. But the fact that I have to stop and think about this restriction because I'm not seen as a whole person, or I could be seen as a threat for playing a game, I find that annoying. I posted also earlier for my geeky friends about Pokemon Go. A black man playing Pokemon Go can be seen as a threat. He can't have his innocence. If he goes and wanders into a predominantly white neighborhood trying to catch Pikachu, instead of engaging, instead of a white person being willing to engage and connect or find out, hey, what's going on? Instead, no, they'd be more willing to call the cops. And this black man would be seen as a threat, all for playing a game. And I just recognize how oppressive this is, that we don't get to be whole human beings. And even imaginary frickin' games are a threat to black lives. Or at least telling us that we can't exist in these worlds. So when you take your privilege for granted that you can play a game without having to worry about being seen as a threat, or that your character can't exist in this world, man, just take that into consideration. All right, till next time. Peace.